Hi friends, as this week kicks off a series of very important data points, the conversation is now turning back to, are we in a recession? And much has been made about what a technical recession versus an actual recession versus a confidence recession, et cetera, et cetera. So let's piece that apart a little bit. So technically speaking, if GDP, which is gross domestic product, the country's income, contracts or shrinks 2 quarters in a row, that usually means the economy and the country is in recession. However, just because data contracts doesn't mean we are in a recession, but when we are in a recession, the data contracts, right? That's a little confusing, but here's what it means. We could very easily have a slight contraction for quarter 2 and still not be in a recession. So even if information comes out in the next several days that indicates that the economy contracted in the second quarter, which would be the second quarter in a row, we still are very likely not in a recession. In fact, we believe it's very possible that the government could go back and revise first quarter numbers to slightly positive. So there are a number of reasons why we don't believe, even if there's a second quarter in a row of contraction, which our models and our data show that it's going to be slightly positive, but even if it ends up being negative, we still do not believe that we are in an actual recession. Now, if you turn on the news or you turn on social media or anything like that, we are certainly in a confidence recession, meaning most American sentiment is at a decade or a decade and a half low. In fact, the sentiment, meaning how the public feels about the economy, is very similar to where we were in 2008 and 9, even though the data doesn't come close to that. So remember, GDP is made up of things like consumption, business investment, consumer spending, right? Home building, inventories, trade, government. And so all of those things together make up the GDP. And we are looking at data that shows that most, not all, most of those things continue to grow, continue to expand. Now, the current rally we've seen of about 8% in the S&P 500 since the middle of June, we believe is not the true substantive rally. We know as the Federal Reserve continues to raise interest rates, as we move towards the election, as gas prices have fallen but are still above their highs, as inflation continues to soar, there are still things the market is concerned about. However, we believe that the data coming out this month and into next month is the footing that the market needs to begin its acceleration. Now, we likely run out of calendar year before we can get back to a positive number for the year. However, we believe that we are still not in a recession, and we believe that the data that comes out over the next 4 to 6 weeks will be the wind that the market needs to begin its substantive acceleration. Volatility will continue, especially as we move towards the election. However, we believe still no recession, at least not in 2022. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.